Hot mic.
Got a hot mic? Hot mic? Good mic?
Okay.
Better.
That's better.
Welcome back to CrawlCast, episode 2. Last week you guys got to see Diesel because we were missing the third member from Crawl 5280. So with us finally for the first time and hopefully not missing too many more, all the way from wherever the hell you live in Colorado, Ryan Liggett.
It's like northeastern Nebraska almost.
Pretty much.
It's like an hour from here. It's kind of far.
It is boonies.
Yeah. It takes a minute to get out there. I'm glad that we're doing it here though, and not at my house because it would be loud as shit.
Yeah, crying.
Children's and airplanes and dogs and goats and giraffes. You know.
Oh, you finally got goats?
The next door neighbor's got goats.
Oh. I told you should get goats to cut all that grass.
Yeah. It's definitely saves time instead of having to mow it all. You know, out there with my push mower.
Oh, you should be getting a rider.
Yeah, we have one, but it's broken.
Well, the best thing about your situation, at least being a Jeep guy, is you'd ended up with like a 1,200 square foot house with the purchase, or 1,200 square foot shop with the purchase of your house. That's bigger than 1,200 square feet, I would assume.
Yeah, it's 1,700 square foot, all concrete, 2 12-foot roll-up doors, so I could pull a trailer or Jeep truck all the way in and park it in there and leave it.
Jealous, bro.
Yeah, it's nice in the wintertime.
Yeah.
You got to work on your shit in the snow.
And it's heated.
It is heated. Yeah, full electricity. When we bought the house, we got a lift, but we just haven't put it in yet.
That's awesome.
It's on the side of the house under a tarp. So.
Well, it'll happen. Projects seem to take forever. Right, Gabe?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of projects, how's your...
Oh, man, it's good, dude. So we spent all last weekend, I mean... probably 40 hours worth nonstop on the Jeep. And it's at the point now where I still have a couple things that I need to get welded in, which is no big deal. And then it's basically bolt together at that point in time. So as of right now, I could put the rear axle together, bolt everything in the rear, and the rear is done. It could sit on its own weight. You
got rock crawler control arms? Are you doing aluminum or?
Yeah, I'm doing. So rock crawler is going to build me, or they're building me. Well, probably by the time this airs, I'll be driving my Jeep. But so just straight lowers, straight uppers. So I'm not doing their high clearance stuff.
Gotcha.
Just because I need the room for the up travel,
right?
And without trying to re-engineer body mounts and get into the floor and stuff like that, I can only go straight. So yeah, rock crawler control arms with their crawler joints on both ends, which I can get away with because I don't have high clearance, so I don't need to worry about the control arm wobbling or anything like that.
Gotcha.
And then 14-inch coilovers all the way around. They're 3-link in the front, but straight lower arms in the front as well.
So 4-link in the rear, or do you do 3-link?
I did a 4-link in the rear, single triangulation. I mean, it's technically it's double triangulation because I got the lowers at 10 degrees of triangulation, which is technically the minimum you can do. And
right.
It took me everything I could to get them to 10 degrees, but they're there.
Perfect.
So it counts, I guess. But yeah, man. So I probably have 10 hours still more worth the fab work, if you will. And then I'm going to probably end up waiting on a handful of parts. And then I probably have 30 hours of bolting shit together.
Hey, there you go.
So
closer. Yeah.
6 weeks between now and Easter Jeep Safari. So hopefully everything is smooth as butter. But who knows, man?
I'm gonna butter your bread.
That's right.
Speaking of bread.
What about bread?
I need some more bread for my Jeep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you just quit buying so many guns and gun parts and ammo, you might be there.
Yeah. We could not only do an off-road podcast, but we could probably do a podcast, totally supporting the Second Amendment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Second Amendment.
My collection has gotten pretty nice.
Yeah, except for he doesn't have a gun safe, so his guns are walking around his house and flashing people.
Well, he's also got the advantage we don't have, which is he doesn't have to worry about a 4-year-old coming and grabbing his gun off the counter.
Truth.
Right.
Yep.
I also work from home a lot, so if anyone does break in, I'm going to be there and they can meet my 10 millimeter.
Hey, that's where it's at, man. We got that tactical 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all about the home defense.
Yeah. Well, no, and like, dude, where we're at now is a super good area, but we've had some shit happen here. And, you know, me with my work schedule, Erica's reached out to me at night at work and like, hey, what's, you know, I hear some noises outside. And I'm like, well, the 45's in my, in my bedside table. It's loaded though. So when you pull the trigger, it's going to go boom.
Right.
So make sure you're pointing at what you want to kill.
Yeah. You got safety on that one or no safety?
Yeah, it's right here. Just all, all if it's a Glock. So no
Fair.
safety.
Good. Yep. Yeah. I travel quite a bit for work. You guys know a lot of flights in Texas and out east. So I've gotten those messages in the middle of the night, like, hey, there's something weird going outside. I'm like, well, it's probably the horses next door, or, you know, a goat.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's like, well, how do I work it? And I'm like, well, you just pull the trigger.
Right.
And freedom seeds come out. I mean, it's not hard to. She's like, is there a safety? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
What's funny is I got my wife into shooting, and now her grouping is way better than mine.
Oh yeah,
It's insane.
Women typically shoot better than men because of center of gravity. Like, it's scientific, factual thing. Apparently, men are typically larger on top than bottom, and women carry. And this is, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but women carry a lot of their weight in their center of mass. You know, belly, hips, butt, stuff like that. All the stuff we like anyway.
right.
Oh, yeah.
True.
So they get a way better center of gravity than we do.
Yep.
You know, so I don't know. This one guy that I trained with for a long time was training with me, and my buddy and his wife and my wife, and his biggest thing is he took on like a sawhorse. He just took a 2x4 on a hinge, and he like made a cross out of it, put a t-shirt over it, and so the whole drill was to literally hit that 2x4, so you're hitting center of mass on
Behind
target.
the t-shirt.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you know, I'm plinking away, and I put lots of holes in that t-shirt, but who knows if I would have killed the guy. Erica walks up first time, and she was shooting my 357 at the time. She had never shot it. And she's just like, thing falls over. I'm like, the fuck is going on? That's not even fair.
This is all beginner's luck.
Yeah. Well, she did it over and over and over and over. Like, and it was, I don't know, 15, 20 yards, something like that, you know, kind of where you'd be in that self-defense range, you know, kind of the max of it. And she was crushing it. I couldn't believe it. But anyway.
I'm just glad they know how to shoot.
Yeah. And are not afraid of it.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are afraid of it.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
Like, it's that epitome of they got our six. You know?
Yep. Absolutely. And it's nice that they can enjoy something that we enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's outside of wheeling. You know, a lot of the wives of this group put up with a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean,
a little bit.
Well, it's like you were saying. I mean, you travel all the time for work, and then you take a week off of work to travel to go four-wheeling.
Right.
And you're really good about bringing your family. I mean, luckily your family's all big enough that, you know, they can go spend an entire day in the Jeep.
Right.
Mine's getting there. But yeah, dude, that's one of the biggest things that Eric and I get into. Like, I mean, in December, she's like, how many events do you guys have set up already? I'm like, well, we have this, that, this, and that. Oh, that's probably a good number. There's going to be like no like little 4-day getaways, are there? And I'm like, not as of now.
Is this like the time you went to Moab to ride dirt bikes when Erica got her teeth removed?
No, that's when she got her deviated septum fixed. Yeah. No, she. I took her to and from the doctor's appointment, brought her back to our house, and loaded up dirt bikes and left. I was home for like an hour with her before I left.
Are you okay?
Love you. Gotta go.
Okay, I'm gone. Bye.
Yeah. So, So I mean, it's a huge sacrifice our wives make on what we do, but the best thing about wheeling is it's a family sport too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
when they can come, they do come. And for me and Gabe, I mean, the biggest thing is just being Jeepless for the amount of time we have, because it's kind of hard to be like, hey Ryan, do you have 3 extra seats?
Right. I'm like, oh well, if you want to sit like in the way back.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
ratchet
right?
strap.
Yeah,
Get
just
passed around
jump
like the
on in.
dogs do.
Yeah, right. Have you ever thought about getting one of those seats that you put in the trailer hitch?
Oh, yeah.
Get you an airplane belt and just.
So my buddy back in the day, he had one of those off-road commodes that you put in the trailer hitch.
Oh yeah.
And man, this is when we were a little bit more reckless and a lot more redneck, and there was plenty of trail rides that were 100% on that off-road commode. Super dangerous. Don't do that. It's dumb.
If you're gonna do something like that,
Mexico?
if you're gonna do something like that, you're gonna get like an old seat from a Subaru Brat that has the little handles on the side of the seat.
and then
jump
weld
seat.
a hitch to it so you put it in. Yeah. But
Those are classic, by the way.
You got some oh shit handles on the side, literally.
yeah. That's like my buddy. He's got a Toyota. It was an extended cab truck. The back of the cab's gone now, and it's turned into kind of a truggy thing. And he uses a Jeep TJ seat in the back for his kid. Like it's all bolted down, and he built brackets and shit for it and
There you
everything.
go.
But so I'm like, you Toyota guys are going to talk shit about Jeeps, but you're using Jeep parts, huh? Okay, cool. I'll remember that.
Hashtag shots fired.
But yeah, so we our wives are godsends, and everybody should treat their wives well, but we definitely have to do nice stuff for them, you know.
Well, yeah, I guess.
It's
Man, that was a fresh beer in a full mouth. That was almost all over the
yeah, you got a
all
hole
over the place.
like right here.
But shoot, guys, so it's Sunday in our world, in the real world, as of right now. What'd you guys do for Sunday Fun Day so far?
Today or Sundays in general?
This Sunday, today.
Well, I got up and made some breakfast and did some laundry and then came here. So that's about my Sunday.
Yeah.
No football anymore. Football's over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Chiefs snuck one out.
Yeah.
At least I went to the West Division.
I mean, I always go AFC, no matter what, whether it's my beloved Broncos or not. I root AFC, but
Even if it was the Raiders?
No.
Really?
Nope.
yeah, I would.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Just because Gabe's here.
I couldn't do it either because when the Broncos were in the Super Bowl, I didn't root for them.
Right. Yep.
So fuck them.
But you know what's actually funny, man, is I always see to myself, or I always see on like Facebook and whatnot, all the memes like, oh, fucking gotta get home and watch the football game. Fuck that. I'd rather be wheeling or whatever those memes are.
Yep. Amen to that.
I totally disagree. Like 100%. Yeah. Like I got priorities, man. It's 17 weeks of the year. Luckily where we live, those 17 weeks, there's not a whole lot of wheeling to be done anyway, unless you're willing to travel.
Mm-hmm.
But I got priorities, man. I'll go on Saturday or Friday.
Yeah, that's
or
true.
Wednesday. Like I'll figure out a time to go, you know?
You guys want to do a night run in the snow?
Those are always safe.
Well, it depends on what time of Sunday because I'm an early riser to begin with.
Right.
So I usually have my Sundays planned. Like I'll wake up, make breakfast.
Extra
and-
bacon.
Oh, dude, yeah. Maybe some biscuits and gravy or something. But yeah, and then I'm either going to edit, I'm going to do something with Crawl 5280, either creative wise, or I'm going to hit the gun range and
Yeah, that's what you guys do on Sundays, right? You always
Yeah.
hit the range.
yeah.
Awesome.
As of lately, yeah, just about every damn Sunday.
Yeah, that's good though.
Well, we got some good runs here. I mean, barring anything unforeseen, which that's always the risk you take anytime you hit the trail. But I mean, you could go run Middle St. Vrain and Coney Flats and be back for the 4:00 game if
Yep.
that's when kickoff was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
No-
keep it
no
small.
problem.
You can, yeah, with rigs, built 35s and up, lockers, you could jam through that trail.
Yeah.
As long as you don't stop and play in the water for a couple hours,
What
or
you always
break
do.
something.
I love sitting up. See, I never play in the water. I just cross it because I'm kind of scared of the water because the repercussions from water is expensive.
Last time I was up there, I was in the XJ, so didn't matter a whole lot.
The last time I was up there, I put my GoPro on a rock and I was just getting some footage of Jeeps driving through that crossing. And someone hit the crossing really hard and set a wake. And all of a sudden the GoPro just goes, "Foot."
Oh no.
And I was like, okay, which rock was it? Where was it at? Where did it go? And I'm searching, and like up to my elbows and shoulders looking for it. Finally, one of the kids, I found it.
Finders keepers.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, I generally go up there and, you can always tell, and no offense, but when the shitbox XJ drivers come rolling up because they're fucking loud and they're playing some honky tonk music as loud as it'll go, smoking on their vape pens and shit.
This isn't a Subaru convention, even though we did find a Corvette on that trail
Yeah.
one year.
Yeah.
Driving through Camp Dick, Gabe was like,
Oh
"Is
no,
that a
it was
Corvette?"
it was on Ironclads.
Oh, on the other side. Okay, I
Yeah,
thought
but
it was
still,
the
that's-
same frame.
that's-
Yeah, Corvette on the trail, legitly trying to get up there.
That's awesome. But yeah, so I always wait for those guys and I'm like, hey guys, let's Let's give it like 20 minutes here. We're gonna see a hydrolocked engine here pretty soon.
You can always
let's go.
Yeah.
you can always tell what time. You can always tell what kind of person is behind the wheel by the music that they're blasting.
Mm-hmm.
Totally tell.
Absolutely.
So I was in Moab several years ago, right after I started building my Jeep, and I went out there with just a guy that I'd met locally here through Facebook or whatever. So it's just me and him, and it doesn't matter. We did like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or something along those lines. But he had to get back before Sunday for whatever his daughter was doing or whatever. And
Is that your buddy with the truggy?
no, that's a local guy. His name's Greg Cooper. He's got a pretty nice built JKU.
Awesome.
But anyway, we were up there, and so he boogied back, and Eric, and he didn't really drop that bomb on Erica and I until like our last night we were at dinner. He's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm leaving first thing in the morning."
Fuck.
And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna go wheeling tomorrow." I don't
Do
know.
whatever you want, but
Yeah.
I'm going back on the trail.
Yeah, I don't know anybody out here or anything, but we'll run into people. I mean, it's Moab.
Right.
We're not gonna be wheeling alone. So I was like, "Well, let's go do like an easier trail that I know the whole thing, just in case something does happen. I can figure out. I know how far it's going to be that we're going to have to hike or whatever.
And you know how to get out
Yeah.
in case shit hits the fan. You know where to find cell service or whatever.
Right. So we go run Cane Creek, which is not a terribly difficult trail. And besides Hamburger Hill, I mean, that's really the only
Right.
obstacle. And this was October, so I wasn't worried about water levels or anything like that.
When we ran it in July, it was like cane puddle.
Yeah.
There was no water in the creek at all. I've never seen it like that. It was so overgrown and dry. I told all the guys from the Crawl America group, I was like, "Oh yeah, come run it. It's 100 degrees out here, but there'll be water."
Yeah.
We got
Just
down there and they
kidding.
were like, "Hey bro, where's the water?" And I'm like, "Well, you see where it usually is, and it's not there."
Yeah, and so we go do that. We get to Hamburger Hill, and we run into a fairly stock TJ, like maybe on 33s or something, and a bone dry stock JK right there at the big ledge on Hamburger Hill. I don't know what that obstacle is actually called, but I don't know if it's just Hamburger Hill from start to bottom or if it's like the ledge on Hamburger Hill.
Right.
I have no idea.
The hard part.
Yeah. So we get there and the TJ's stuck. And so I walk up and I'm like, "Hey, do you guys want a hand?" Like, oh no, actually what it was, I'm sorry, this is why they were stopped. An ATV had passed me earlier and they'd almost rolled off the side of that hill trying to skirt around that outside edge of that ledge.
Oh, yep.
So he's like literally like grabbing on to like the right handlebar with all his weight on the right like floorboard thing or whatever, just like standing there waiting for somebody to help him. Because if he would have gotten off, that ATV would have been gone. So anyway, that's what it was. The guy in the TJ and the guy in the JK were below that ledge, and they had walked up to talk to that guy, and I had walked up to talk to him too. I'm like, "Well, let's get one of these Jeeps up here, and we'll just do like a kinetic rope up to the Jeep in front of you and just pull
you over.
pull this thing, because if the ATV is not going to pull the Jeep anywhere, so even if the ATV rolled down the hill, we'll pull it back up the hill upside down if we have to.
Right.
It didn't matter. And so like cool plan was formulated, and then the guy in the TJ is like, "How do I get up this obstacle?" I'm like, "Well, there's kind of two lines. You can either skirt the edge or you can go up the wall." I was like, "You're not going to make it up the wall, so you're going to have to skirt the edge." Anyway, so we get them up there, get the ATV recovered. The dude in the JK wants to skirt the edge too. He had the gumption that he's going to climb up this wall, but he's like, "Nah, I can't make it up the wall. I'll go around the edge." So he puts it in reverse to back away from the wall a little bit. And as soon as he does that, the shifter cable falls off the shifter, which is pretty common in the JKs.
Fuck, put it back in.
So then it was like, "All right, well, let's pull your center console apart so we can put this stupid C-clip back on," or whatever the hell that's
This
called.
little plastic
Yeah, that little plastic clip
butthole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do that, get him around the edge. And by this time, dude, like the rowdy redneck vape smoking XJ owners had showed up. And they are just talking shit, man. Like,
This TJ.
"Oh yeah, fucking, oh, look at this fucking minivan mall crawler piece of shit, blah blah blah." Yeah. So they were all sitting up there on, like, if you're looking up the trail, they were sitting on the right side of that wall. And this boy whole shot at that wall. First time I'd ever driven up. Whap! And they're like, holy shit. I just kept going, man. I didn't even slow down to say anything to them.
Yep.
It's always funny when they're like, oh, my $2,000 XJ shitbox is going to outwheel your $50,000 Rubicon. Like,
But are you going to be comfortable?
no, but not only that, they never do. Like,
Right.
You invite them somewhere and like, oh, I've got something to do.
Well, it depends on the XJ.
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
Yes, very much so.
You know,
because we
like
know some
my
guys,
XJ was built differently than a lot of these other shit boxes that we've
Brian.
seen.
Brian Amore,
Yeah, oh yeah.
he's got a nice one.
Yep.
yeah, no, there's some nice ones, but a majority of the XJs that are out there
The one's talking shit.
talking shit
Right.
are, they cut the fuck out of the fenders and put 35s on it and have done nothing else.
Yeah,
And,
Dana 30 front, 8
Yeah.
1/4 rear.
I mean, big tires help. I mean, you can build a build for 42s and have an awesome build.
Sure.
But is it the 42s or is it the build, at that point? in
I just
time?
don't understand why it's a contest with them. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
It's we're all out here trying to have fun, and you're trying to create a contest. You're not going to win.
Yeah.
It's just lame.
And
Yeah,
my AC
right.
my AC works and it doesn't leak oil, so
Amen to that.
go fuck off.
Yeah. So speaking of vacations from wheeling, right? A couple years ago when I was building the JK, me and Gabe went out and did Pritchett Canyon with Rock Crawler. And we had the 62 rigs that day.
God, that was a hell of a day.
And Gabe and I cleared the trail without winching. And after I got off the trail and told Gabe, well, I guess when I get home, I'm buying an JK because wheeling his Jeep was just so much different than driving the XJ. It was more comfortable. It had AC.
Had a frame.
Yeah, it wasn't twisting. And, when we were all twisted up, I could still open the hatch in the rear. You try that in XJ and you're like, well, it's stuck. So I need to back off first.
My buddy had one. He had an XJ for a little while. And my buddy Doug, who met us on Wheeler for the Onyx for Kingdom Crawl, and he got so mad at it that he literally cut like a 1/4 inch out of each side of his hatch, so it didn't matter. He could still open up his hatch. Looked like trash going down the road, but at least he could still open up his hatch no matter where his Jeep was parked.
Oh man, the hatch on mine got stuck one time. There's like a little threaded rod in there, and there's like this little like C-clip. It's got a hole in the top, hole in the bottom, and that rod slides through the middle. And this rod broke, or the C-clip broke.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pull the rod up or down. So I cut the plastic on the inside. And every time I wanted to open it, you got to crawl back there, lift up the latch, and push it open. I was like, man, this is ghetto. This thing must be sold. It was either sell it or absolutely cut it up and make it a true buggy. I'm really glad I didn't.
Well, tell us a little bit about the JK that you have now.
Yeah, so bought it as a 2008 Rubicon from Mitch Plank in Sterling. Had like 95,000 miles on it. Motor ran good, training good, axles were good, lockers. Bought it with 35s, and it had like a first gen Rock Crawler, like 2.5 inch lift on it. Within hours of buying it, I ended up putting 40s on it.
I think the background noise that you open up your candies are all right.
Well, I was like, this is making a lot of noise. I want some candy, but it's making a lot of fucking noise. Go ahead,
Those
I'm
are
sorry.
Smarties, just in
Smarties,
case, or
yeah.
Smart Tarts.
Mini chewy.
Smart tart.
Yeah.
Mini chewies. Fucking best.
So I really didn't know what I wanted to do with it, other than I wanted it to be bigger than the XJ that I had before.
Right.
So me and the wife kind of talked back and forth, and I'm like, we're just going to build it. We're not going to leave it as a super daily driver. So we took the motor out, sold it for $1,000, took the tranny out, sold it for a couple $100, and we ended up buying a Hemi 5.7 and 545 RFE trans.
Nice.
Paid for it in cash, took 6 months to get it. Not going to do a whole lot of name dropping, but those that know me know where it came from and know why.
Right. Yeah, I can make a guess.
Yeah. Yep. So we ended up putting the Hemi in it. Rock Crawler sent us some coilovers and a 3.5 inch long arm kit, front and rear, 3-link. Put 1 tons under it. Did a 03 Super Duty 60 Sterling combo. We were putting the Sterling in, and I realized, oh shit, when this thing flexes, that Sterling is gonna hit the stock gas tank real bad.
Yeah.
Like the way we had the axle in there, it wasn't just gonna like massage itself out. Like it was gonna cut this gas tank. We'd be in the middle of the trail now with fuel leaking everywhere. So we said, fuck it. Tore the stock gas tank out, sold it, and bought a TJ tank.
Nice.
So we cut a huge hole. When I say we, I mean me.
Yeah.
And in the rear where the little cubby hole is, it took me like 8 or 9 hours to do by myself. I'm not super mechanically inclined, but we got it done nonetheless. And it has a TJ tank. Our buddy Troy helped me extend the JK fuel pump when we could have just bought the Genrite rods. But yeah, it was cheap and he was willing to help out. So I was like, cool, man, let's get this thing working. So we dropped the JK fuel pump in the TJ tank so it reaches the bottom. All emissions equipment is intact. All the fuel gauges work. No check engine light. So it boogies. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a super nice build. And it's actually funny, dude. You talk about that because when I knew I was going to go into this step of my build, I knew I wanted to do at least a single rear triangulation. I wanted to do double, but it's more money, right? You got to figure out either make more brackets or buy more brackets.
Cut the floor.
Yeah. So I got a smoking deal on the Genrite crawler tank. That fits in the same spot.
That was a couple years ago, right?
2 years ago now.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I mean, basically, one of the local, Jeep and Jeep parts selling swap meet pages here locally in Colorado on Facebook, this guy had posted the Genrite tank, and I was like, oh man, I wish I had the money for that. And then 6 months elapsed or something. I'm like, I wonder if that guy still has it for sale. So I found the link, and I just sent him a PM, and I'm like, hey man, do you still have that tank? And he's like, yes. Do you want it? Like, and I could like hear the desperation over his message to come get that thing. And he ended up owning one a local shop around here. I can't remember the name of it though. And I'm like, well, how much would it take for it to get out of your shop today and into my garage? And he's like, I'll be completely honest with you. I have $600 into it and $650 and it's yours.
Sold.
I was like, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I gotta hit the ATM.
I'm gonna find my car keys. Hold on.
But yeah, so it's funny, dude. So much like my boat slide, rock sliders that I have, I didn't drill the first hole because I couldn't.
Right.
For the nut certs. And I made my buddy help me install the tank, and I made him literally make the first cut, and then I cut the rest of it out. I just can't do it.
Right. You're like, I don't want to. Okay, you did it. I'm good.
Yeah, at that point in time, the bank still owned, a majority of my Jeep. So
yeah.
I didn't want to cut the bank's Jeep up too bad.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Take pictures, send it to them. Yeah. Look what I'm doing.
Look what I'm doing.
Whether or not it's financed or not, tell them to come find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tell them it's like a home improvement. You just
right.
There's more equity into it now.
Yeah, I'd be like, see this huge cut, that I just took out your garage door? It's going to be more pretty.
Yeah, when it's done. But yeah, so that was nerve-wracking. I don't know what it was like for you guys punching the first hole or making the first cut, but for me it was tough on both occasions.
I think my first
cry?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna try not to burp all over the mic.
The first cut I put in mine, I think I chopped my fenders. So that was easy.
Yeah, well, I cut my fenders. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I fucking straight sawzalled the front.
Yeah, and mine
bumper.
looked like
hollow.
Mine looked like straight dog shit.
Well, you did the grill too. You contoured the grill to that bumper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for that front body mount on the JKs, dude, cutting them down like a CJ or TJ front grill looks so good, but that fucking front body mount,
right in the way.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way. So if anyone out there knows a better way to get rid of that body mount, hook us up.
Someone's out there screaming right now.
Yeah, they're like, I got it.
Yeah, I already figured it out. Idiots.
Yeah. The JL grill looks pretty good on a JK.
I have seen that done so far, and it does look pretty good.
You see the Globex is doing it right now to his JK.
Is he really?
No, I didn't see that.
He put a black one on there and he bobbed the rear. It looks pretty cool. Sick. I saw it on the Globex Facebook page. Michael Nadel's doing it.
Someone was trying to do it before that, but the problem was the clips. I guess the clips on the bottom wouldn't work, or they were misaligned or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people that have done it. Greg Henderson, he's done it on a couple Jeeps, but I mean, he puts like J10 clips on a JK, or he puts an XJ front clip on a JK.
Yeah, that guy's
it's awesome.
I got a buddy that's like, oh man, have you seen the guy that puts the old school Jeep stuff on the JKs? And I'm like, yeah, Chris Durham. And
Chris is a good dude too.
He's like, yeah. You should do that. And I'm like, can I borrow some money?
Can I have like 50 grand?
I'm okay.
And I'll do it. Yeah,
I'll do it. No problem. I'll put whatever front end you think looks the best on there if you give me the money.
So okay, I'm kind of going a little bit off of what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
because one of my neighbors just bought a JK. I think he bought it like a 2010 or something. It's a Rubicon, and he is actually one of the grounds crew of my complex. So he's seen my garage door open, has seen the Jeep and everything. Right away comes, knocks on my door. Dude, I just got a Jeep. What should I do to it?
Whatever the fuck you want.
I was like, I'm going to be straight up with you. I said, don't buy anything from the catalog.
Right.
He's like, why? And I broke it down to him. I said, listen, you're going to look for the most shiniest, prettiest part, not know what the fuck it is, want to put it on your Jeep, when it's not going to do anything for the performance of it. It might enhance the look, but ultimately it's not going to do anything to help you get up that obstacle.
Right. It's kind of a lights versus lockers conversation.
Right.
The light bar may help you see in the dark, but can it help you crawl up an obstacle better?
Yeah.
Right.
Like he wanted to put those round, the mad eyes, angry eyes, whatever. He's like, can you get a deal on those? I'm like, no.
Yeah, on what? Angry eyes? No, can't. I don't even know what those are. Sorry, man.
So he's he's trying to tell me what he wants to do and everything, and he ultimately finishes and says, "I want it kind of like yours." I'm like, "No, you don't."
Yeah, no.
Don't copy me.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually funny because I kind of on 2 points on that. First thing, the Jeep resale market is not what people believe it is.
Right.
Nope. I would love to sell my Jeep for $100,000 because that's probably what would help me financially recoup some money.
Sure.
Not happening. I have a $35,000, $100,000 Jeep, like in reality. But today we were grocery shopping because that's life isn't all about shooting videos and stuff. I still have real world shit to do. But I was standing in line checking out, and I'm just scrolling through Facebook, waiting for the person in front of me to be done or whatever. There's a guy selling a 07 to 11 JK
for 30 grand.
18 1 tons in an LS.
Oh yeah. Was it on that same post though? I saw one this morning.
I don't know. It was black. I mean, it had some shitty stuff on the outside of it, but like the 1 tons in LS, 18 grand. You can't do that on your own.
No way.
No way. Like I'm looking. I read the whole thing. I'm like, oh, this thing's got to be salvaged. It's got to have a blown motor. It's like something's wrong.
Right.
It's like clean title, ready to roll. 1 ton LS JK.
You see deals like that sometimes.
People just want to get rid of it,
or they have a divorce or need money for a house or
right. But I mean, so to kind of build off what you were saying, Gabe, is like inexpensive parts give you inexpensive quality. I learned the hard way, and I kind of hit on that in episode 1 about the buying American made was the advice I got, and I'd gotten that advice after I'd bought my first lift. So I bought I don't even remember the name of the company, like Trail Masters or Trail Jerk-Offs or something.
Broken.
From 4-Wheel Parts, and it was terrible. This is 3.5 inches. Yeah, it did what it said it was going to do. It lifted my Jeep 3.5 inches. And it had non-adjustable lowers in it, so you had to basically where the lower control arms on the front axle mounted, you had to cut that out so you could get your
flex,
your pinion angle and everything back. Your what is that called? Fucking caster.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, caster.
Yep, caster.
God, I can't even talk. And so I did that, and then ended up going to another lift company that's made here in the States. But because I'd cut those brackets out, I ended up having to fab pieces to basically make it to where it was like the stock hole that was supposed to be in that bracket.
I never cut this off.
It's gone. Well, and I'm an idiot too.
Look, it's back.
Yeah, I'm an idiot too, and I did also make the pieces that I need to fill up that hole out of fender washers. So
you're gonna have to fucking excuse me because these candies are just calling my name.
Well, I've cracked a couple beers since we've been on here.
Everyone's listening like, what the fuck is he eating?
Well, maybe we should get
those are Smurf balls.
Yeah, maybe we should get a sweet tart and a sponsor and a beer sponsors, and then we'll all be happy.
Some Coors Latte.
Some Coors Latte would be all right. If you're listening, Coors.
All of the latte will make these mountains super blue.
For a Coors sponsorship, I'll pretend to drink.
Yeah.
I mean, you could drink it. and
It's just like
Just do like wine tasting, like, and then spit it to something else.
chase it with a better beer.
Hey, take it easy now.
gargle it.
So yeah, actually that brings up a good point, man. I mean, I know the three of us are super hardcore on no drinking on the trail, but dude, snacks, that's a
it's a must.
that's a for real thing.
Especially with kids.
Oh yeah.
You know, you got to have snacks. You know, there's people that go out with no food.
Or water.
And you're like, hey, bro.
Or water.
Yeah. Are you hungry? Do you like want a sandwich? He's like, you have a sandwich? I'm like, yeah. Bologna and cheese and
I got a whole
hoagie
roll of bread. Like, what are you talking about?
It's not smashed, by
Pretty
the
much,
way.
it's pretty much mandatory for me. Anyways, I would take at least 2 liters of water.
Yeah, minimum. Well,
then
it also depends. I mean, I know when the three of us are hiking,
God.
I've crushed
Oh, yeah.
gallons of water
Yep.
hiking the trail filming.
Absolutely. You know, when we were doing Crawl America in Moab in 100 degrees, you know, Chris King and Audra, you know, they're lifesavers. They're like, yo, water coming at you.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that's how my group was, man. I couldn't. I would be. Everybody would have gotten up said obstacle, and I'd be climbing up the obstacle on foot, you know, to go get back with whoever I was riding with. And as I'm walking, like, you thirsty? You thirsty? You thirsty? Hungry? Hungry? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Do you want a popsicle?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying not to piss my pants right now. Like, all you guys are staring at me, and all I have to do is pee. Like, I'm gonna go hide behind this shrub for a second.
Don't look. Or bust out your binoculars, whichever one.
People don't realize though when you're wheeling, it does take something out of you, and you need some sun nutrients to, you know,
For sure.
especially at elevation.
Yeah. You know, I think my first experience here wheeling at elevation, we took the XJ to Wheeler Lake. You know, you get to the top and you're just like, oh man, I can't breathe and I'm lightheaded. And, you know, the wife was like, well, sit down, drink some water. And I'm like, I think I got like altitude sickness, you know, because we got back in the Jeep, started going down. And I'm like, man, I instantly feel better. You know, so you just got to keep hydrated. And
So we make a joke about altitude sickness because it's a for real fucking thing, right?
Right.
Like, so if you're not from Colorado and want to come to Colorado and wheel, you got to take the time and acclimate yourself to the whole situation. But so Erica being from the East Coast, a lot of her friends come out to visit us, and we did a gag there for a while where we would give them a little gift bag, you know, and it had 2 bottles of water, lotion.
not for that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the point. Lotion, chapstick, and Advil in it, and that's all. Well, what's the lotion for? I mean, for your hands, but whatever else you need to use it for.
Just wait till, you know, you're going to take a shower and you're going to, you know, do this with your hands and they're going to start cracking in places you didn't know your skin could crack.
Right. Yeah. So I'm a dude that is all about lotion.
Puts the lotion on as a skin master.
Man. Yeah. I mean, white guys, luckily, they don't get ashy because it's color tone basically at that point in time.
You do, but they
we
can't
do.
see
You can't
it.
see it. I'm
Unless
ashy,
unless
dude.
you slap hands and all of a sudden dust just comes out.
That's dandruff.
Oh, no, that's not pimp. That's
Yeah,
dandruff.
sorry. Oops, you know.
But yeah, man. So actually, my most favorite thing snack wise on the trail is I always like, and it kind of depends on the situation, but for filming and hiking trails and stuff like that, I always like to do the sweet and salty. So trail mix with M&Ms or actually Reese's makes a really good, like, I forget they call it. They
Like
call
pretzels and
yeah, but like little
minis,
Reese's and
yep.
shit like that, dude. Like I can eat like one of those and be good for hours.
yeah. I try not to eat a huge breakfast. You know, if we're running around on the trail, your stomach gets upset.
See, I'm just the opposite. I need a big breakfast because
Okay.
I don't want to have a bunch of snacks. I'll take a few granola bars or something.
Right.
And then that'll be it because I want to pack light too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I try to.
most of the weight that's in my backpack or for trail filming is gear, water, and just like maybe 2 granolas.
Right.
But you also got to prep, right? I mean, you got to prep for everything for wheeling, and when it comes to food, I mean, as far as breakfast is concerned, I think there's kind of 2 rules of thumb. Rule of thumb. Is that it? The rule of thumb.
That's it. Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
You say it 10 times and you're like, I don't know if that's it, but I think that's it.
But and one of them I learned from you guys, and the other one I already knew. But if you're gonna have a big breakfast, wait it out because you're gonna shit.
Oh yeah.
Or bring some toilet paper.
Yeah,
Well,
but
especially running around after that because we
Yeah.
do a lot of hiking, a lot of running from obstacle to obstacle or from one side of an obstacle to the other side of the obstacle.
Yeah.
stuff is moving around in there, and it's bubbling.
Yeah. And actually, I saw in Moab now that I saw they just passed a law that if you don't have an off-road commode type situation and you shit on the trail and you get caught, you can get fined.
If you don't pick it up.
If you don't pick it up to, I think the maximum penalty was 6 months in jail.
Yeah, and like a $2,000 fine. Same with,
but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because
I'm good with people picking up their shit.
Yeah,
but I also don't want to be the guy who be like, well, I have to take a shit. I have no way to clean it up. Like, is it worth 6 months in jail, or should I just shit my pants and deal with it?
Right.
at that point, at that
who's
point,
driving the Jeep?
just use your draws at that point and just leave them there. Bury them as deep as you can.
Yeah, but so yeah, you're gonna definitely want to wait till you take a shit if you're, I don't know. I like to take a poop in the toilet as often as possible.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then the other thing I learned from you guys, man, is just steer clear of the powdered eggs at the continental breakfast at whatever hotel you're at.
Your eggs. Eggs.
I'm not saying it because Doug Langford is going to listen to this.
Say it.
And then he's going to tell Darb, did you hear Gabe on the CrawlCast? So I'm not going to say it because
who's Doug?
Doug Langford.
Yeah, who's that? Just kidding, Doug. I know who you are.
I was like, well, this is awkward.
I was trying to get him to name drop your shop, but he didn't want to.
Speaking of, we actually do need to mention our sponsors since we're, talking about them. So,
sponsors for this show. I mean, we have Outlaw Off-Road, and they are
two locations.
Yep, North Carolina, and they just opened up a location in Alabama. Doug Langford, who we're ragging on.
We love you, Doug. We really do.
That's his.
I'm still not going to say that word though.
Eggs.
Eggs.
I don't know how you say it. I guess I never heard you say it. So
it's eggs with an A.
Now.
It's like AYEGGGGGS.
I say
eggs.
Eggs.
I say okay. I say eggs.
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 I mean, it sounds normal to me.
Eggs.
And they said,
eggs.
I say eggs. And I said, I don't say eggs. They
it's
said,
like,
you do.
AIDS with a G.
And but they're Southerners, so they enunciate damn near every single word anyway. So
they mispronounce every word.
That too.
Letter, not word.
Or letter. Well, word and letter. Yeah, like what's your no good? The fuck did you just say to me? I'm asking you how you're doing. Why don't you just ask me how I'm doing? Like, what's my no good? I have no idea.
You fixing to leave?
Yes. Am I leaving or am I not leaving?
G yet?
G yet? Yeah. J.
Speaking of eating, Smoking Dave's barbecue.
Oh man, Smoking Dave's, man. Hit on these guys.
Oh my god.
All the time. And
burnt ends and baked beans. That's all I gotta say.
You can't beat that.
Was it prime rib on Wednesdays?
Is it Wednesday?
Tuesdays, I think. No.
Yeah. So good.
Wednesdays. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got several locations in the Denver area.
Yeah, Centennial, Denver, Littleton, right?
Yeah.
Or it's going to.
Yeah. No, I think he's got 4 open
Estes
total.
Park, Lions.
I think he's got
Lions
6
was
open.
the first one, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, he's from that area.
And driving up to Lions, man, especially if you're doing it at night, you're going to need some lights. So High Beam Off Road has stepped up big for us, and High Beam.
Hashtag where's Dumpy?
You gotta love Dumpy. Dumpy was like
Dumpy.
Dumpy is like Terrell Davis for the Denver Broncos. He was a flash in the pan for 2 years, 3 years, whatever it was, and then he died.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I remember.
Well, but Terrell Davis isn't dead. Just to clear that
he's
up.
alive.
This is not breaking news.
Just his career.
Just his career. Oh, speaking of Matt with High Beam, I'll never forget a couple years ago at EJS, we're all hanging out at the house. Those guys wanted to do an evening run.
I think I know where you're
through
going with
Pritchett.
this.
And Jason Rogers and I are sitting at the house that we all rented together, and he's like, pulls open his phone, starts blowing up, and he's like, Loxley just totaled his Jeep. And I'm like, what do you mean he totaled his Jeep? And he's like, I don't know. He doesn't have good cell service. So we get a hold of Andrew Bailey, and he's like, we need help. We don't know where we are. We're lost. So after Pritchett, it's like 100, not 100 miles, but it's like feels like 100 miles out. And
unless you're riding with Gerald Lee.
Oh my god!
Then it's about 3 minutes.
I had a lot of fun in that one.
So they took a wrong turn on a wrong road.
Yeah, didn't they end up on like behind the rocks?
Yeah,
or something?
they went high. They high dive backwards.
No. They were waiting at the bottom of High Dive.
Oh fuck!
So we raced in the back way, Jason Rogers and I, in his manual, turboed two-door JK that he used to have before he stretched it when it was silver and not graphite gray. Anyway, we're bombing to get there, and we pull up and we just see these guys totally defeated. And I'm like, you guys are going the wrong way. We need to go that way. So, finally,
ASMR.
I was waiting for it. So Jeff Lyons and Andrew Bailey are taking turns just dragging his Jeep out. Still rolls, it's dog-legging. The rear axle's like totally twisted, and you see Matt in there just freezing his ass off. And I'm like, hey man, you want me to get in and steer for you? You get in the Jeep that has heat. And he's like, no, I got to get it off the trail. So we're bombing out at this point. We call Troy and we're like, Troy, we need a trailer and a truck. So Troy jumps in his truck, leaves the house, takes out the fence on his way out. And we get to the exit there by BFE on the highway. We just drag his Jeep up on there with the winch, and that was it. We went back to the house, woke up the next morning, looked at Dumpy, and everyone was like, well, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Not to get too carried away on this, because we got one more sponsor to talk about, but I remember you guys telling me the story about how you guys were all hanging out in the hotel room or whatever, and Matt had been trying to get a hold of his wife or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Finally called her, and then you guys are looking out the window, and he's just sitting on the trailer looking like his life ended or whatever.
Yeah, so
He had a goldfish.
So
and
we were
it died.
we were downstairs in the common room, and we're talking, and all of a sudden his phone rings, and he went from kind of a smiling face to like, ugh. Everything just like
this,
like he had Bell's palsy or something.
Yeah.
Like his face just dropped. He's like, it's my wife. I gotta go talk to her. And he goes outside, and he was outside for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was a long, hard. And I mean, they just put tons of money from Wide Open Design in that rear end of that thing.
Right.
Bobbed it, cut it.
Yeah.
So he comes in, and he just looks so defeated. Like, Matt, what happened? Like, well, it's not good. What'd she say? Well, I need to buy her a new car now.
And I'm grounded from wheeling.
Yeah. I mean, that was
Could you imagine, once again, not to get too carried away, could you imagine if he would have ended up buying a locker while he was here in Colorado and that front locker wasn't working in Winona?
That would have been bad.
Yeah.
He would have tried a lot of. Well, maybe not. I think he's.
I mean, you're talking $1,000 basically, no matter what.
ARB or whatever he wanted to buy.
Yeah.
I like how you guys improvised and bought him a locker.
Yeah.
Master lock. Number one.
But anyway, to get all your trail needs handled and get over every obstacle you want, Rock Crawler Suspension stepped up big for us. So huge shout out to those guys. We're big proponents, run their stuff, beat the crap out of their stuff, race proven, been on vehicles that have won King of the Hammers. I mean,
they weren't the first ones, and they're not going to claim to be the first ones either. Generate. Generate.
So, yeah, man. I mean, if you want good, high quality, U.S. made products, Rock Crawler Suspensions.
And not only are the parts great, but the people are great.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy, Adam and Adam, Diesel's a part of that team. It's when you buy something from them, it's more than just buying a product. When you
you're like buying into the company,
right? You you're part of their family
right
now. And we've wheeled and had the opportunity to hang out with these guys at events and wheel with them all day, and you just see a different side. They're just like us. They're just regular people.
Yeah.
That just want to wheel and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So when Diesel and I were plugging away on my Jeep, I mean, we came up with a question that neither of us knew how to figure out the answer to, and Diesel just shot a text to Jeremy, and he texts back probably within 5 minutes. You need to do X, Y, and Z, and it'll make it perfect.
I've had that same experience with Jeremy myself.
Is that the towers?
I don't want to talk about that. No,
mine was the same way.
Just trying to figure out triangulation in the rear.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I should have reached out to him on towers too. Actually, man, when we're done, you'll have to go out and check it out. It's fucking beautiful. They're just not right.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Like the geometry's off, or like how they're sit?
I'll show you.
Okay,
I'm not going to admit to what happened.
It happens.
They're leaning the wrong way. They are. So, right, you want your fronts 10 degrees
in
backwards, like pointing towards the back of the Jeep, and then 5 degrees out.
Okay.
Mine are 10 degrees backwards, 5 degrees in.
Oh, okay.
So I got two options. French the absolute living fuck out of my frame, or cut those off,
Get new towers.
get
and
new
redo
towers,
it.
and redo it the right way.
Ah, shit.
So I'm actually going to take option 2 because it'll be,
Just cut it and French it in.
no, I'm going to cut them off and get new towers again.
Okay. There
Or
you
the
go.
best bet, I think.
Oh, you
Yeah.
want to do it right.
Yeah, I want to make sure that's,
Yeah.
if I still have to French the frame afterwards to make sure I'm getting the suspension travel and flex that I want, because running a 3-link, I still have to have a a track bar. So as my driver droops, my whole axle is going to shift.
You
towards
talking the front or the rear?
Front.
Okay, gotcha.
So as my driver droops, it's still going to push towards the passenger side. So I need to make sure I got the clearance for the coilover to fit.
Yeah. Yeah, the front was easier than the rear for us. We did the rear, we did French it into the frame.
Yeah,
did
mine's all French.
cut up
and
the
everything.
tub and
Mhm.
and that part was more difficult than doing the coilovers in the front. I didn't have the double throwdown like Gabe has. We just have the single.
But you used RK towers on the front, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
we used their towers.
So
Did you
you
use Artec or the rock crawler ones?
I used RTEC.
Okay.
And I got the RTEC tall blanks. So you have to cut the bottom to whatever you need them to be, like the bottom of the
Oh, yeah.
tower.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, you have to cut it to go on the frame.
Yeah, so get that duck mouth or bird mouth or whatever the hell you want to call
This
it.
shape here. like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the loser because I did it wrong. So instead of leaning them out, the math is perfect. It is dead nuts perfect. It's just the wrong math.
It's the wrong direction of math. You're like, we need to go this way, and that's good, but we got to go that way.
Yeah, and it was so funny because I don't know, Diesel and I don't know if it was because we were tired or what, because we did the front towers fresh in the morning, so it's not like we had been putting down beers in the garage all day and then we're like, all right, let's do the front towers now. Like we were fresh.
Was it beers the night before?
Well, we drank.
There were many.
Yeah. But we started fresh and me and Diesel are talking about it and he's like, man, I'm having a hard time figuring out this math. And I'm like, well, what's the math, man? Like, I'm good at math. And he's like, well, blah, 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 XYZ. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, my wife's an engineer. She's super good at math.
This is better than the math that I know how to do.
And I'm like, Erica. She's like, what? I'm like, do you have a protractor? The
We need
fuck do you
some-
need a protractor for? But yes, I have one. So I came down. I'm like, all right, here's our situation. Now that you're down in the garage, here's our situation. And she's like, oh, that's easy. And she's like, sim times cos, and I need to go get my graphing calculator real quick. And I'm like,
I'll show you.
do you
So
know
this
what?
just goes back to the bullshit that our wives have to put up with.
Oh, yeah.
From us.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of the roundabout way, man, is when you're doing this, there's guys out there like Troy or whatever that they reinvent the wheel and they do an awesome job. But I mean, Rock Crawler Suspension has put in the R&D. So whether it's you're welding on their kits or you're bolting on their kits, don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, they have weld on and bolt on coilovers now, right?
Yeah, and like
Awesome.
just do it. Just follow their instructions. They made the mistake of leading their towers in the wrong way already.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do it. Just do what they want, and that's what I like about those guys. And like, I don't know, my first experience meeting them, we had just gotten off the trail at Easter Jeep Safari, and Jeremy wanted to wash his Jeep for whatever reason because he's Jeremy, and we were sitting outside of where the Wendy's is because there's a car wash next to it, and Diesel, Adam Collins, and myself were just sitting in the grass while Jeremy's washing his Jeep, and Adam Collins is like calling people, he's like, hey, it's Adam Collins from Rock Crawler, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, we're at Easter Jeep Safari this week. But I heard you had a question on your TJ.
Yep.
And then you can hear the other person talking. I can't hear what they're saying. He's like, oh yeah. No, so what you want to do is this, that, and the other. And it's fine. I'm like, man, how do you just have that knowledge stored in your head? But they've spent they've gone through the all the tribulations to figure it all out. So
Right. 100%.
yeah, and I'm not saying they're the only suspension company does it, but that has the knowledge. But they're the suspension company that'll call you midweek EJS as soon as they get off the trail to get you squared away.
Oh, even while you're at EJS, right? So last year we had a geometry problem on my JK. We got it off the lift and we mounted the coilovers in the wrong location, so it was raked in the
Yeah.
front. So I talked to Jeremy, talked to Adam, and he's like, call the girl at the office.
Yeah.
You know, they overnighted the bracket while at EJS.
Right.
You know, I was like, oh, that's cool. You could be in 2 places at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like we got him out there, we got him put on, you know, and it fixed the geometry problem that same week. You know, no matter where you are, you know, they basically shipped it to our hotel.
Right.
You know, it's just those guys are fantastic.
Yeah. I'm glad to have their support, and we support the shit out of them.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. But anyway, so trail snacks is I think what we were kind of on.
Yeah, actually, let me get some more here.
More for the Jesus Christ.
Oh, did you not want that much?
No, I'm good. I'm good. That burrito I ate a couple minutes ago it's sitting well.
Not before the trail.
No, I would definitely not eat a burrito
Dude,
for
you
the
can
trail.
eat so many of these.
But
We'll just leave them right there.
But yeah, I think I think it's one of the biggest things, and I know I've overlooked it, and I know a lot of people overlook it. But I think the preparation and like keeping yourself alive on the trail is overlooked by a lot of people, and a lot of people make the wrong mistakes too. You know, like I kind of started the conversation with that we're all super against drinking on the trail. You know, especially here in Colorado, since every trail is still considered a county road.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, you could have a DUI checkpoint on it. I mean,
Could. If they wanted to get crazy.
Yeah, the sheriffs aren't going to necessarily go sit on the exit of Carnage Canyon with a DUI checkpoint, but they could.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, it's illegal. Plus, you know, you're driving home, whether you're driving your Jeep or whatever home,
Oh, yeah.
or you're driving your pickup with the shit on the back, you're still driving home. So we're against it. I'm all for sitting around doing a podcast and getting drunk, or sitting
Like
around,
now, yeah.
sitting around at the bar afterwards, or somebody's house that you met up
Right.
at, or whatever. I'm all for it. 100. I'm not against drinking at all, just in particular situations. But like, so you see guys that, you know, they roll their Jeep, and the first thing you see fly out of their Jeep is an 18 pack of crushed beer cans come flying out of it.
Oh, you see it on videos all over the place, you know,
Yeah.
and then the whole internet blows up. Oh, he shouldn't have been drinking. He wasn't that drunk. But, you know, whatever the
Well,
excuse is.
look at the clusterfuck this year at King of Hammers.
That's always a clusterfuck.
Well, this year was bad. Someone broke their pelvis. Someone broke their
Yeah.
leg. There was a fight.
Oh, yeah. A Toyota rolling on another, or a buggy rolling on top of a purple Toyota.
Yeah.
You know, you're just
And
like, man.
that's all alcohol induced too. No one can tell me that it's not, because there's literally beers falling out the back of these rigs.
You
Well,
know,
when they go do that shit on like Backdoor or Chocolate Thunder or whatever, I mean, dude, it's a party. It is a straight up party. Like
Right.
that's, and the reason that shit happens is because dude's been partying who's ever driving. He's got 1,500 people cheering him on because they're partying. So you're bouncing off the, you know, rev limiter and
Doing it for the gram.
doing it for the gram, and then you end up rolling over onto some dude who's not paying attention and breaking his fucking pelvis.
wouldn't have rolled if he had BFG stickies.
Maybe. But you know, or EJS this last year, the chick that ended up
Getting her leg messed
Oh
up.
yeah.
Almost amputated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we remember that
And-
cluster.
And and I don't know the whole story. I don't know if the dude was drinking or not, but
Point is, it's dangerous enough.
yeah, it's the sport is dangerous. It's
Right.
super dangerous. I mean, that's why we invest so much money into,
Safety.
Safety. Fucking PRP harnesses are expensive.
Right.
Totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
side note, we were watching Zombieland 2 last night, and there's a shot in that movie where PRP has the harnesses in the monster truck.
I haven't seen it yet.
I text Kyle from PRP, and I was like, yo, man, nice product placement. He's like, haven't seen the movie, heard it was great. I'm like, yes.
But to another point that is dangerous is, it's not only dangerous for the driver that's behind the wheel, but for us too. If we're on the same trail with them, we like to get close.
Oh yeah.
And there's been times where I've been out with someone and I noticed they're drinking, and I purposely kind of backed
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, and we're out there to have fun. We get it. We get why it happens. I mean, I'm not a fucking alcohol Nazi by any stretch of the imagination, but like have fun when it's have the right fun at the right time.
Right.
Right.
I will get fucking blitzed with you when we get off the trail. No questions
We'll go
asked.
back to Deadwood.
Someone
Two
slept
long
in.
nights in a row. That was pretty funny though. Hey, we're gonna my words. Hey, let's plan to be on the trail at 7:30. I don't think I even got out of bed till 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Where's Adam? He's stumbling over there.
And actually, I added that part out of that episode.
Mhm.
I had a part where it cut to like Adam's current situation, and you were asleep.
On my, hey man, I think I earned my stripes with the group here. I'd
Trooper.
I'd like to not sleep on couches or
Yeah.
fold up beds or prison pads anymore. I really want.
You've had
beds.
the worst luck out of all of us.
Yeah,
The only thing that was good about the Crawl America event is the only place that prison pad fit was right in front of the AC unit. So
that
ultimately
motherfucker would throw his blanket over the AC. He'd be over there freezing. The rest of us would be like, why is it so hot in this room? There's me, Gabe, Adam, Troy, and then my son Braden. We're all in this tiny ass hotel room, just blistering, and he's over here shivering
with my blanket over the AC.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot, man.
That's awesome.
I like that you call it a prison pad, not the word that we had used for it.
What?
It was a rape pad.
Oh yeah, rape pad.
I mean, you're talking a mattress like that.
It really
thick.
was a prison pad.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, well, I remember midweek I had to go get the hotel staff to see if we could find either double up the mattresses or a different bed.
And you did get a new one, didn't you?
Yeah, that thing was fucking my back up bad. Bad. And then, waking up sore and tired because I got a terrible night's sleep and then going and running around when it's 107 degrees on the trail.
Yep.
I'm like, this is going to be a long fucking week.
Crawl America was brutally hot.
Super fun event.
I would rather do Moab.
Bad location.
Moab in that heat than Tennessee in that heat.
Truth.
The only upside to Tennessee in that heat was
the river.
Yeah, there was some spots where we can kind of equalize.
Right. I didn't like immediately. You'd get out of the Jeep and you'd just be soaking wet.
As soon as you walked out of the hotel.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you showered and came out and you were on video with Darb and you guys all just had like a nice sweat ring. And I was like, damn, it must be hot. And he's like, no, it's like 80, but 100% humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in, so I flew into Wilmington and I met up with Chris King out there first and walk out of the airport and I thought, holy fuck, who opened the oven door?
Yeah.
It was hot. And I saw a police officer, dark uniform, full on flak jacket and all that. I said, I feel for you. I said, if I can buy you a cold Coke right now, I would. He's like, oh, I'm used to it. I'm like,
fuck that.
More power to you, man, but I'm fucking dying already.
Yeah.
I've only been here for 5 minutes.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, it's funny, dude. For me, for whatever reason, like I couldn't do your job, dude. Every time I fly to humidity, if I drive, I'm good. But if I fly, I always get sick.
Really? Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's a sinus thing or.
Yeah. Houston's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
From Denver to Houston, you literally land and get off the airplane and you're like, oh, I can't breathe. The air's heavy and thick, but you just got to do what you got to do.
Or your body's like, oh, I can breathe.
Yeah.
And you just think it's weird.
Well, the worst part is
definitely weird.
if you have to fly into Houston, but have to fly into Hobby.
I always
That's
fly into
even
Hobby.
worse.
I always fly Hobby.
I hate Hobby.
Southwest. That's who we fly with, and they don't go to George Bush. So
Hobby is like it's almost. Well, I don't want to say almost. It is in the ghetto.
Kinda.
Yeah,
A little bit.
because the hotel that I stayed in once when I was there, the shuttle driver was like, "Hey, you like strip clubs?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Who doesn't?
So he's like, "We'll go to the one that I go to. You could take your own beer."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, this sounds promising." This,
titties and beer. Okay, I get with this.
So he's like, "I'll pick you up at 7." Sure enough, I walk outside and he's right there at 7:00, and go to the liquor store. I get a 6-pack of Corona, and he takes me
Not
to
the virus.
No, not the virus. Takes me to a strip club, and as soon as I walk in, I sit down, and this woman comes up to me, probably 50-something years old. And she's got a little machine in her hand, and she puts it to her throat. Do you want to dance? And I was like, holy fuck.
Was the dance cheap at least?
The hole in
Check,
your
please.
throat is way bigger than the hole in your mouth. So I was just like, I'm going to finish my 6-pack.
What about her butt? Did you ever figure
I
that
did
out?
not even know. I didn't spend $1 in that thing.
He was like, no dollars.
So we did so my buddy, he got married in 2017 or whatever it was, and I was his best man for the second time. It was the second wedding. Started my best man speech with "Welcome back." So anyway, so I'm like, well, do you want to do a bachelor party? He's like, well, yeah, I mean, I'd like to do something with the guys, beforehand. And I'm like, well, and he lives in Grand Junction, south of Grand Junction. I'm like, well, do you want to come to Denver for the weekend? Like, I'll pay your gas costs to get over here, and then we'll party it up. Nah, I don't want to do that. You want to go to Vegas for the weekend? I'll drive out to Junction and we'll fly out to Montrose or something. Nah, I don't really want to do that. What do you want to do? What if we just go camping, man? Something like that. And I'm like, cool, man. I'm totally good with that. So anyway, I drive over to Grand Junction, and this is when I still had my Tacoma at the time that I kind of built up for overlanding, if you will. And I was like, well, dude, there's this trail called the Kokopelli Trail that runs, from Fruita to Moab. Like, why don't we do the trail? It's 160 something miles all off road. And he's like, dude, that sounds like a fucking blast. I'm like, cool, let's fucking do it. So our two of our other buddies, one of them's just this, he's a fucking maniac. But he's just this good old boy that owns a gravel company up there in the Grand Junction area. And then his other buddy, who's a cattle farmer, right? Some with a real eclectic group of guys, which was awesome. And they're like, well, let's stay at the La Quinta Inn or whatever. I don't remember what hotel we stayed at in Grand Junction, because they actually live about 45 minutes from Grand Junction. Like, all right, so we get there and let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner. All right, cool. I'm good with Buffalo Wild Wings. So we're sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings. Tell the bartender it's the bachelor party. We're just starting there for dinner. Get the food comped, which was super cool. And I'm like, well, now what do we do in Grand Junction? It's like 10 o'clock at night. Like, we're in Grand Junction. Oh, there's a strip club. Well, we're going to the fucking strip club then.
If that's the only thing there is to do, you must twist my arm.
So we walk in there, dude, and I legitimately, like, strip clubs, I generally walk through the door, pay whatever the entrance fee is, $15-$20 or whatever, and I generally get a couple bricks, right out of the gate. Mm-hmm. I walk in there and not wanting to spend a whole lot of money, knowing that I got money invested into the house we rented in Moab and this, that, and the other. So I'm like, yeah, hey man, can I get 20 singles? Hand the guy a $20 bill. I was the fucking richest dude in that fucking strip club.
Make it rain.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, make it 40 then, if that's how it's gonna work.
You get some good dances?
Yeah, dude, and they were cheap.
They were cheap.
And there was and most of the girls, they were, they were all right. I mean,
they're Grand Junction girls.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really see C-sections under black light anyway.
That's rough.
But this one chick lived in Junction, but she was a stripper in Vegas, and she happened to be back in Junction for the weekend or whatever. She was fucking fire, man. Like, oh my goodness, she was so good looking. And so we ended up like kind of hanging out with her all night. But yeah, so trashy strip clubs, no thanks.
Yeah, I've had a trashy stripper at a friend's bachelor party that was at a house. She was pregnant.
Ooh.
It was not. It was
rough.
So there was a budget.
A low budget.
That's not a place where you want to make budget cuts. I saw this thing on Facebook this morning. It was a Valentine's Day thing. And it was a dude going down on a girl, and he was like, hey, it's a nice C-section scar you have there, sweetheart. And the girl replies with, yeah, that's where my dick used to be.
I saw that the other day.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So on the way back from the Wheeling, we have a lot of options to stop at different restaurants, especially coming back on I-70. We have Bojo's and Tommyknocker.
Yeah.
Of those two, which one would you go to?
So, I have not been quiet about this, and being the Colorado pizza and being a native, I don't like Bojo's. I can't get into it.
Unpopular opinion you have there, sir.
It's unpopular.
Super unpopular. I know.
I love that place.
Yeah. Well, and I know they changed their sauce at some point in time, but their pizza sauce used to taste like ketchup to me.
Okay.
I like ketchup. Don't get me wrong.
Not on pizza.
Not on pizza.
This cocktail sauce.
Only pineapples.
Yeah, that sounds even worse.
Pineapple on pizza is no.
The Bojo's in Idaho Springs is different than like the Bojo's in Arvada.
Yeah, for sure.
The one in Idaho Springs is tenfold better. I don't care what you say, where you're from. that's where it started. You know, we had a recovery on Spring Creek, just right there out of Idaho Springs one day. And there was a gentleman who worked at that Bojo's that had a pretty beefed up XJ. And we called over there and I was like, hey man, it's like 7:30 at night. It's getting dark. Would you bring us a pizza? You know, we had someone that broke a ball joint on the side of the trail in the snow, paid him in PayPal for the pizza. He bombed up the trail, brought us hot Bojo's. It was the best.
Did he give you honey?
No honey. No, not for the crust.
That would have been a topper.
The last thing on my mind at that point. I just wanted something to eat that wasn't a granola bar or squished chocolate candy.
Well, it's funny when we were broken down on Golden Crack with Chris, episode 1 of Kingdom Crawl. He says in there that he called Domino's. We did actually call Domino's.
Yeah.
To try to get a pizza out there.
I'll pay whatever you want. Just bring me some food. We're broke.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't know, dude. When I get off the trail, because I basically just snack. If I have my family or I know this is gonna be a long trail day, 12, 14 hours day on the trail, my most favorite thing to do is sandwiches, but instead of bread, I use tortillas. I make like taco sandwiches because you can't smash tortillas any more than they already are.
Dude, the best thing is PB&J roll-ups.
Oh yeah, yeah. But man, I always crave Mexican food after a good hard day of wheeling. So
tacos are always a popular item, no matter what time of day, what day of the week.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Tuesday.
No.
Nope. I mean, any day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 a.m.
And that's God, was it the three of us during Crawl America that went to that Mexican joint that one night? And like that Mexican joint in Moab, like, checks all the marks for me. Food's okay. I mean,
huge portions. Huge
giant portions and fast as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
you sit down and they're like, chip salsa? Yes.
More? Yes.
What do you want to eat? Blah, blah, blah. I want, this, that, and the third. And like 30 seconds later, it's sitting on your table.
Freaky fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, man. I always crave Mexican food. I could wheel for 14 days and I go to eat Mexican food every day getting off the trail.
Oh, it's just.
But maybe it's because I know I got time to shit before I get back on the trail.
You're like, I got 14 hours to eat this and shit before I have to get back in a Jeep for 14 hours.
Yeah. So I don't know. I always crave that. I mean, dude, if I'm coming down I-70, coming back from wheeling, and maybe it's based on where I live or whatever, I rarely stop on the way back. Like, I'll come home and
we're close.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, by the time you're done hitting your brakes, you're in your driveway.
Right.
So it's hard for me to want to stop. But if I do stop up there, it's Tommy Knockers, or I really like the Vintage Moose. On Saturdays they do barbecue in the back, and the Vintage Moose is a pretty cool little bar. They have like 75-cent tall boy PBRs too, which is pretty cool. So
all about drinking on the cheap.
Yeah. When I get a majority of my beer for free, and if I have to pay for it, I'm paying as little as possible.
Truth.
Yeah. So
my ultimate go-to is just the best comfort food that you can ever have.
Yeah.
Just a simple hamburger, cheeseburger type thing.
Yeah, I can do that too. And what's nice, dude, is like so many bars in Colorado at least have like gotten super into that like hospitality. I mean, if you're in a shitty dive bar that it's just a whiskey, a shot of whiskey or a beer bar, that's one thing. But like most of the bars now actually have a pretty damn good kitchen attached to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just like burger, fries, fucking side salad, like that's what you're looking for, damn near stop anywhere and get a good meal. I mean, that fucking, I can't remember what it's called. It's a barbecue joint in Minturn. I can't remember, but it's super good. So like coming off of Holy Cross, if you're headed back to I-70 coming home that way and you stop in Minturn,
okay,
super, super good. The only thing I don't like about that place is they don't really appreciate if you push tables together.
And it's not Smoking Dave's.
It's not Smoking Dave's. Well, I'm not saying it is Smoking Dave's. Smoking Dave's is way better, but I don't know, man. A good solid meal.
Something hearty. Yeah.
If it was a Sunday and if it was you'd want Chick-fil-A, but it's Sunday.
It seems like we only
hey,
crave.
You know what? I still can't believe to this day that you have never had Chick-fil-A.
There's another unpopular opinion.
It's not an opinion. It's just I've never had Chick-fil-A. Okay, so the first time I did have Chick-fil-A it was 2001, I think it was. And the sandwich was...
So were you still in California or were you here?
No, I was here in Denver. But the sandwich was drier than the fucking biscuit at Popeyes.
That's chalky.
It must have, yeah, it must have been. It must have been a bad day or something, man. Because man, that chicken is like warm and buttery, and
I can't think of a time, Kyle Reeves, back us up on this, that you've had bad Chick-fil-A. I know. Sean will tell us up, down, left, right that
it's a basic chicken sandwich.
Yeah, he takes a couple bites and throws it in the trash. I'm like, that's the Lord's chicken right
there. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, next time you're thinking about throwing that in the trash, wrap it back up and I'll swing by and pick it up.
Yeah.
I was literally Sean the first time.
UPS it to us.
I was literally Sean the first time I had Chick-fil-A. I took 2 bites and I was like, I need more water because this is not going to go down my throat without it.
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
threw it away.
I have no idea, dude. Like, Chick-fil-A and tacos is a regular diet for me.
Do I need to try Chick-fil-A again?
Yeah, we should go and set up a camera inside at a table and just eat on camera.
Yeah, but and you can get you can get the spicy chicken sandwich with or without pickles. I get mine with. It comes with pickles.
I like pickles.
And I throw pepper jack on it as well.
Pepper jack cheese. I get the
I have to get a Dr. Pepper though.
Oh, see, I'm a lemonade.
Yeah,
guy
well, see,
there.
now everybody tells me their lemonade is legit.
Never
had it. I don't know, man. I'm like, I'm gonna have a spicy chicken sandwich and a Dr. Pepper sounds amazing.
Did you get the deluxe or no deluxe?
No deluxe.
Oh, see, I like the crunchy of the lettuce in there.
Yeah.
Here's another unpopular opinion. I'm waiting for In-N-Out to come out here.
It won't be the same. It'll be In-N-Out.
It'll be the same,
but it won't be the same.
Because that's why it took so long for them to branch out, is because they have a standard. They have their distribution centers X amount of miles within their restaurants.
And see,
so everything is fresh.
And that's the thing. I mean, you being in California, me being in Colorado, and like, I like In-N-Out.
Well, hold on a second. I don't want to clarify. Was born in California. I don't want to call myself a Californian because I cannot fucking stand. I cannot stand.
You're
fucking
a Californian. You're a Californian.
You were born in California.
I was born there, but I got here as quick as I could.
California love. Traveling for work. I've been to California, Nevada, Texas, you name it, where there's an In-N-Out burger. I've been there, and California has the best In-N-Out burger over Vegas, Texas, anywhere.
So here's my opinion, which may be unpopular. The fries suck at In-N-Out. And I know that's unpopular.
That's
We've talked about
here
this.
nor there.
Blasphemy.
And I think the burger is mediocre, but I fucking love it for some reason.
Because it's In-N-Out.
You know what's really good?
I don't know what it is.
It's because we can't get it on the regular. You eat it and you're like, oh my God, it's so good.
You know what's really good on the menu and no one really buys it is the grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know they had grilled cheese until
never had
we
a grilled cheese.
The grilled cheese is really good.
We talked about that last time we talked about In-N-Out because I think I was going out there in December or whatever for a Christmas party or something. I can't remember. Maybe it was a wedding or it doesn't matter. Anyway, and you're like, oh yeah, man, like get the grilled cheese. And like, I just can't because I can't get a double animal style.
You have to
Every
get a double.
day
Yeah,
of the week.
you have
Yeah,
to
you
get
know,
it while you're there.
I lived on that.
Well, I know, but I
can't.
I can't get it right. I can't get it right now. So I'm not going to go to In-N-Out and be like, yeah, let me get the grilled cheese. No, I'm going to get like double animal style.
Can you animal style the grilled cheese?
You can.
You probably can.
You can.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about In-N-Out that, unless you're, in California or Nevada or whatever, you don't know the secret menu because the menu they post
is shit.
A quarter of the shit they fucking make there.
Well, there's secret menus everywhere.
So my same buddy that lives in Grand Junction, he's a former Marine, and he's a Colorado boy. Grew up here, didn't know anything about In-N-Out Burger until he was going through boot camp in California. And one of his friends that he's still friends with, that he became friends with during boot camp, was like, "Oh my God, dude, when you're done, dude, graduation day, go to In-N-Out Burger afterwards or whatever." And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, when you go, get a double animal style." So he tells the story way better than I can, but he's like, "Yeah, man, it was fucking weird because I went up there to order my burger and they just kind of looked at me cross-eyed when I ordered a double doggy style." Yeah, that might mean two different things, man. I don't fucking know.
Well, that's the same thing. You go to like Torchy's Tacos and you tell them you want it, like trailer park trashy. They're like, the person behind you is like, the fuck did you just order?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. See, I like Torchy's too, but I don't eat there because it's so fucking expensive. I mean, for Eric
Mexican food should not be expensive.
No, for Eric and I to go there and get, she'll generally get like 3 tacos. I'll get 4. and then we'll maybe get.
Something for the kid.
Well, we haven't taken Sean there.
Okay.
We like to go places like that when we can ditch the kid, leave him at home, let the dog watch him. You know what I mean? And so we'll do that, and it's $50 fucking, for a couple drinks and
No,
7 tacos.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no way, man. Like I've eaten there like 4 times just because of that.
See,
I think it's good.
It's like a fad
So here's the thing.
restaurant for me.
You take that, and the total flip side of it is I can go to the taco place by my house and get 4 tacos for $4.
Yeah.
And they're great freaking street tacos. Just
You could get maybe one taco for $4 there.
Yeah. Well, that's taco place by here. I mean, it's pretty common that we'll get chips and salsa, 8 tacos, and like a cheese quesadilla for Sean. And it's like $12.
Sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't beat that.
All day.
I just bought my family dinner for $12.
Yeah, you couldn't. I mean, it's hard to go to the grocery store and get dinner for $12.
Yeah.
Right.
It's something decent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just have never been able to like really dig into torchy tacos. Been there a handful of times. I think it's good.
Yeah. Not for $50.
I actually have no idea what trailer park style is either.
It's with queso.
Oh.
everything is better with queso.
It does make sense.
Queso.
Cheese.
But yeah, man, I don't know.
Say it slow.
So
Cheese.
Queso.
on the topic
Dripping on your chin.
on the topic
Special
of food
sauce.
though, where would you guys rate the food on a scale of 1 to 10 as a whole in Moab?
It depends
From
on
1 to
where you
10?
go.
No, I'm just as a whole.
As
If
a
you were-
whole,
3.
that's a little low.
That's generous.
I think I'm between a 4 and a 5. So it depends on when you go. If you're there during EJS, you get shittier service just because of the amount of people.
Well,
I'm talking food alone. Service is always hit or miss in Moab.
Okay. Well, that for me is part of the food experience.
Sure.
The food would be better if it was faster
Yeah.
versus waiting an hour and a half to get something that's kind of cold or.
I mean, there's a few spots that are pretty good. Like Pasta J's is pretty good.
Yeah.
The diner's
The diner's
decent every time you
it's
go.
a greasy spoon. It's you're gonna get the same kind of thing in any city.
Yeah, absolutely. The pizza place, we always have the party Zach's.
Zach's.
Yep. Zach's is good.
It's
Oh, and Zach's is owned by the same guy that owns Woody's. So it's the same concept, different name.
Right.
So yeah, that's always been my big struggle with Moab. And that's why I love going out there and renting a house or an apartment or something like that to stay in, because I'd rather cook my own food while I'm out there.
Yep.
I mean, I can grill up a way better steak than I think the majority of Moab restaurants can. And that's my biggest hatred towards Moab, is I can't seem to get a decent meal. Now, I do like the diner a lot.
Yeah.
I could eat I'd actually prefer to eat the diner every day, but I've never been a huge fan of Woody's fried pizza, so I'm not a huge fan of Zach's. I like pizza. I'll eat it.
Yeah.
I don't complain. The guy who owns Pasta J's, I used to work on his car back in the day because he lives here locally.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, Moab could use such a good restaurant. Maybe Dave should open a restaurant.
yeah. I was about
out
to say that.
Some barbecue that's better than the Blue Pig.
Oh, the Blue
Yeah.
Pig is so bland.
Well, I remember
Yeah,
we had the rock crawler party there the first year, and I was like, "That's it for food. That's all you got. It's like the best you could do."
Yeah.
They're like, "Yep, that's it." I'm like, "Oh man, this is subpar, my friend."
Actually, I thought I heard rumor that because the Blue Pig was sold and rebought and stayed underneath the same name and everything like that. And I actually thought I heard a rumor that Dave thought about buying it at one point.
I heard something like that also.
Yeah. So
Dave, chime in, comment
Yeah.
below.
Yeah.
Did you almost buy the Blue Pig?
Because you should.
You should.
Or just
definitely.
open one and put them out of their misery.
Yeah.
Like most
Or
pigs.
or
whatever
give
the
them
closest
lessons.
business is to the Blue Pig, buy that one and open a barbecue joint. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's one thing I don't like about Moab is this, and I've grown to love that Mexican joint that we were just talking about. I don't even know what it's called. I just know where it is.
Right. What do you think about the brewery?
So the brewery's good. The brewery's got super good food. The problem with the brewery though is it's super good if like you're gonna go with like you and your wife or you and a buddy or whatever, so you can snag one of the coveted bar seats But if you have to wait for a table, man, I mean, even on a dead week, if we went
Now.
today, yeah, we would be waiting for a table for dinner.
Yeah.
And I mean, a 2-hour wait for a table is not unrealistic at that place.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've
And so,
been there, done that one.
yeah, so, dude, but I think the breweries does probably have the best food. Plus, they got the like ice cream shop thing in there
Soft
when
serve,
you're done.
yeah.
So super legit. Plus, with Utah and their weird drinking laws, breweries fall under like I think it's because breweries have a manufacturing license, not a liquor license. They fall into some loophole in Utah, so you can get absolutely blitzed in their bar, and it falls under you're in the loophole at that point in time.
Gray area.
Yeah, where if you go to mom and pop's bar, like you can only order one drink an hour, one at a time, and every 4 hours you have to order food or something like that. Not that I've sat in a bar for 4 hours. Oh wait, I have.
Yeah.
I've done that.
But yeah, so I don't know. I like the brewery, but I will only go to the brewery if it's me and one other person or two other people, so we can try to be in the bar area somewhere.
Right.
Where it's open seating.
The last time we were at a brewery was the last time I think I drank in Moab, because I swore it off after that.
Yeah. Well, you did it for weight loss and health.
And health reasons, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I didn't have the health issues, I would still be drinking because I enjoyed it. Yeah. My choice would be vodka every day, all the time. So
see, I don't know what it is.
Whiskey.
Yeah, I'm a whiskey drinker.
But I drink my vodka straight up, just ice.
Man, see, so I don't know what it is. I love vodka as well. And like I was like a Belvedere Grey Goose type of guy. Like I like good vodka.
Upper shelf kind of stuff.
Grey Gooch.
Yeah.
Some Gucci.
But man, dude, they say like Jack Daniels is made of rubbers and boxing gloves because you either want to fight or fuck. That's vodka for me.
See, we have a good agreement. He doesn't do any bad things to me. I don't do any bad things to anybody else.
Yeah.
See, it's the Cuervo that gets me. I cannot drink tequila.
Dude, Erica can drink. She'll drink a fifth of tequila, just out of the bottle.
God bless that woman.
It was so funny. So, Erica, if you're listening, you can probably just shut the podcast off for about 3 minutes. So I dated this girl back in the day. She was a big tequila drinker too. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but we had a brief point in time where I moved back in with my parents for a couple months. So we were in between places or whatever. And so a couple of my buddies came over and we're drinking beers or whatever. And my parents their whole basement was empty. So we basically just made the basement our area. And we were upstairs watching the football game or Avalanche game or whatever we were watching. And she drank an entire fifth of Cuervo in like minutes. And she's like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. All right, see you later. Bed's probably a good place. If you're not in bed now, you're going to want to be there in like 45 minutes.
You're going to be crawling to bed.
So then she comes back upstairs topless. I mean, wearing like a thong. Hey, I just want to tell you good night. I'm like,
go the fuck back downstairs.
Yeah, you don't have any clothes on. And my buddies are like, yeah, I can see why you hit that. Yeah.
Thanks. You got nice
Thanks,
tips.
fellas. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I don't know, dude. Food on the trail is a big thing for me.
Oh yeah,
I like to eat well.
As you can see, I like to eat.
Yeah, you don't become
also.
You don't become a husky fella because you
don't like food.
Hey. I'm just big boned.
Oh.
Full of shit.
Oh, this I just have to poop and it'll be gone.
Right, lose 20 or 30 pounds in one poo.
Did you guys know? So I know a guy that backed up Aaron Rodgers for a season. Aaron Rodgers weighs his shit. That's how into his health he is.
No, I'm good.
I don't need to do that.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't even look at it after I take. I just flush it.
The only thing I do is look at the TP because no more brown.
Right.
Pants.
Right.
Tell Diesel that.
Yeah, I need to.
There's some kiwi patch going down.
We've talked a lot about shit this episode.
Hey,
so
man.
far.
That's not good.
This is rated M for mature. Or manure, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, man. I mean, it's a big thing for me. Let's eat well.
I think we might have to go get a Chick-fil-A tomorrow or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do Chick-fil-A.
Can't do it today. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
No.
The Lord takes a break every
You
now.
know, it never ceases to amaze me. I'll
Although-
be driving and I'm like, ooh, there's a Chick-fil-A sign. And then it says closed on Sunday. And I'm like, so you only crave it when it's Sunday.
For sure.
Yeah.
The other day, like 2 or 3 nights ago, I was craving Chick-fil-A and I was already home. And Erica's been kind of fighting a little bit of a stomach bug. And I'm like, hey, what day of the week is it? She's like, it's Tuesday. I'm
Thanks.
like, cool. I'll be back. She's like, where are you going? I'm like, Chick-fil-A. You want anything? She's like, I feel terrible, but yeah, I'll have a spicy chicken sandwich. The only repercussions from Chick-fil-A that I get is the poo the next day on a couple spicy chicken sandwiches packed in there. The poo is spicy. That's the only
Yeah,
disadvantage.
it can be.
Yeah, that's the only disadvantage I get from that place. So that's a wet wipe.
Do you put
Okay.
do you put sauce on your chicken sandwich or do you dip?
Neither, dude.
No?
I like it the way it is, bro.
Every once in a while we'll get crazy and you get the sweet sriracha sauce
Yeah.
and you take the bun off and you lather it on there and slap it back on there.
Oh yeah.
You gotta try it, man.
No, I mean I'm all for trying it, but dude, I love that sandwich the way it is, bro. Like,
This is all foreign to me. I have no idea. What the
Yeah,
hell's going
just
on
get
here.
out of here.
well, and then like you can't get the French fries without Chick-fil-A sauce.
Oh yeah,
I
waffle
think-
fries. That's where it's at.
They have
I think
their own
that-
sauce.
Yeah, and I think it's blasphemy to not use their sauce somewhere
So why don't they put that on the dry ass chicken then?
because the chicken ain't dry ass, bud.
You just had a bad day.
The chicken is good ass. Is what it is.
Juicy, voluptuous ass.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is where we wrap it up.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you don't mind too much of the shenanigans of wherever we go. If you have anything that you'd like us to talk about off-road related or Chick-fil-A related, do comment down below, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.